Alrighty, how's it going everyone? Texas Man here, back with another video. I hope of course you guys are having a wonderful day. If you guys would please give this video a thumbs up if you guys do enjoy it. Subscribe of course if you guys have not already. Also doing the biggest favor of all, make sure you guys hit that bell notification button. Select all for all notifications so you guys don't miss out on future content. We're going to be talking in lengthy detail about the brand new DC film, part of the DCU, Superman, by James Gunn, written and directed by him, here from 2025. So, I want to let you guys know for a fact, I'm going to be diving into spoilers throughout this video. So, if you guys have not seen the movie yet, which, considering the movie has made over $500 million, $500 million would be 500 million. I can't think math. Anyway, this movie's made a lot of money already, and I had a chance to watch it last night. It was like 8 p.m. showtime, and it was packed. Me and my family, we got the last couple seats. We were like literally in row B. We were doing this to watch this movie, but you know what? It was a good movie. And then I started thinking about it more and more and more. And I've got literally 6 pages worth of notes. Not a good sign if I can nitpick a movie to death in less than 24 hours. Now, I want to let you guys know, I didn't hate the movie. I'm not like, oh, this movie sucks. It's horrible. Don't watch it. Don't spend your time and money wasted. I'm not going to be one of those people, okay? I will be the first to say, first of all, this movie is not woke, it is nor political, and it is not filled with gay nonsense, and there is no feminism. There is no girl bossing. It is, by definition, a Superman-like movie. It is not a perfect movie. It's not a god-awful movie, as like a lot of people want to make it out to be, because it's not there's Superman. It's not Man of Steel from 2013. It's not Christopher Reeve. Okay? This movie, it is a very different take on the character. And if you don't like it, that's fine. If you do like it, that's fine. Me, I'm in the middle of the road. And you're going to hear this from me for the rest of the video. There's going to be conflicting things that I'm going to be saying. Like, there's going to be things I'm going to talk about in this video that I liked, and then there's things that I disliked, and those things that I disliked either needed to be removed or edited. That way they could have been elevated to good status. And that has always been what I've tried to do here on the channel, is talk about both good and bad and present flaws in a film and possible ways they could have been done better to make the movie, just in general, better. Okay? So, for those of you guys who do not know, this is the very first film in the brand new DC franchise being called the DCU. So, they started off the DCU with a TV show called Creature Commandos on HBO Max. I can finally call it HBO Max and not just Max. So they started that off, and then we have this movie. And what's weird is, like, I feel as if though DC is, like, unsure if this movie's going to do well, because there is no announcement plan as to what the next movie is in this franchise. Like, they keep, like, this new franchise of films and shows is very small and hidden. They're doing a lot of shows on Max, but not doing a lot of movies. And most people are not going to watch your shows, just being honest. If your franchise is reliant on shows, most people aren't going to watch them. And that's just clear by what's going on with the MCU, is that people aren't watching those shows, and people also aren't watching your movies because they're just bored of Marvel fatigue. So there's that. Next point I want to talk about is the fact that, honestly, when I saw the trailers and teasers and whatnot for this film, I was kind of worried that this Superman movie would not focus on Superman, Lex, and Lois. And that's what this movie needed to do. It needed to focus on these three main characters. Clark Kent, a.k.a. Superman, Lois Lane, and Lex Luthor. That's what you need to do, is focus on these three characters in your first Superman movie of your new franchise. And then, as the franchise progresses, you can add in new characters, new plots, new stuff. This film doesn't do that. Okay? Sadly, it just goes full-on DC extravaganza for nearly 2.5 hours. Okay? This movie is bloated. There's way too many characters, and there's way too many plots, and halfway through, if you're like me, you're going to get confused as to who's doing what, where they're at, and why they're doing it to begin with. There is just so much happening. You don't get a moment to breathe. Like, the moment the movie starts, it is immediate run and gun. And the movie does not stop until you get out of the theater room. It is just a roller coaster. Okay? There's no time to breathe. There's no time to absorb and enjoy things. It is literal a roller coaster train going 100 miles an hour for 2.5 hours. Okay? It's non-stop action. And some movies can do that effectively and efficiently in 90 minutes. But if your movie's 2.5 hours, eventually your head's going to explode. And when that happens, it's hard to get back onto that train because it's going so fast. I don't understand why DC didn't understand that they needed to make sure that their first film in their brand new universe was focused on Superman. Or at least, like I said, Superman, Lex, and Lois. But instead, it introduces all these new characters. And I'm not even going to go through the whole list. Okay? There is so many characters. I could talk about the list of characters, and it would be like 5 minutes long of me doing that. But we've got Superman, we've got Lex, we've got Lois, we have Mr. Terrific, we have Hawkgirl, which, by the way, Hawkgirl in this movie does absolutely nothing. She's in the movie for like 2 minutes. All she does is kill a president of a foreign country. Okay? That's all she does. We have Green Lantern, repair droids of Superman, Superman's dog Krypto, which I thought was honestly annoying, numerous villains, including the Engineer, and, slight spoiler, evil clone Superman, the military, the Daily Planet. There's more. I'm going to stop right there with the list. Okay? I could go on, but I'm not going to. It just feels like James Gunn was trying to start up the DC Justice League and speed it up. But the problem is, we had that exact same problem with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. And look how that turned out with the Zack Snyderverse. Didn't go so well. Next thing, the CGI, it's horrible. Best way to show this is, and you can watch this online on YouTube, there's a clip of it, where Lex and his goons, they break into the Fortress of Solitude, and one of the repair droids literally just explodes in Lex Luthor's face, and Lex never flinches. He just keeps walking. Like, you have sparks and fire and mechanical parts just blowing up in your face, and he never flinches. He just keeps walking. As if though it's supposed to be some sort of badass moment. But it's not. It's just like, okay, we can clearly tell. I mean, we obviously know these droids are CGI, and they're not really there, but it's really clear when they start being attacked and killed and being blown up. It's like, oh my goodness. As far as the cast goes for this movie, I think everybody did a fantastic job in their roles. They did a great job casting the guy for Superman, did a great job casting the actress for Lois Lane. I think Nicholas Hoult was probably the showstopper in terms of casting as Lex Luthor. I think he did a phenomenal job, and I still agree with a lot of people that say this, that he's probably one of the most underrated actors out there. He's been in so many good things, and every time he's in something, he just kills it. Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern did a great job. He really doesn't do all that much in the movie because obviously if you're a Green Lantern, you're basically like super overpowered. And that's just a problem that the comics are easy to solve. But in terms of film, which is probably why we haven't gotten all that much Green Lantern live action wise, you have to come up with a villain that can go toe to toe with a Green Lantern, that can literally create anything he wants to out of thin air. He really doesn't do all that much in the movie, but when he does get a spotlight, I think Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern did a great job. If you're afraid that this movie was going to have a lot of James Gunn-like humor, it is here, and honestly, it ruins a lot of moments in this movie. Like, this film is just full of jokes, okay? This isn't dark Zack Snyder, which is probably why people don't like this movie as much, but there needs to be a balance between having dark moments and serious moments. Like, when shit's going down, it's not the time to throw in a quick Joss Whedon / James Gunn joke. He really needs to either leave behind the whole joke nonsense that he was good at in Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad. Like, he needs to leave that stuff behind, leave those stories and characters behind, or DC needs to make it where he's only allowed to do those certain types of projects within the DC. Like he's really good at making it where all these misfits come together, and at the end of the movie they resolve their differences, become a family or something, or a big group to defeat a big bad guy. He's good at telling that type of a story. That's what James Gunn is good at. That's not Superman, however. So, there you go. This film is not an origin story. Like, literally, if you walk into this theater and you start watching the movie, it does one of these crawl-like things, almost like Star Wars. Like, the movie literally just drops you into the middle of a story with no explanation as to how people are where they're at, why they're doing it, and for what reason. Like, the movie literally opens up with the fact that this film starts off after Superman's been around doing stuff as Superman publicly for 3 years. And then the movie's like, hey, by the way, Superman just lost his first battle. He got his ass kicked. And then the movie just starts. And I'm like, how did he get his butt kicked? Why did he lose the fight? Who did he lose the fight to? Like, there's no explanation. It's just, stuff just starts happening. And I'm like, why? In terms of surprises and revelations within this movie, everything is extremely predictable. It's just by the books, comic book stuff. Even when they reveal who the big bad guy is, I'm just like, kind of makes sense. It didn't surprise me. It didn't shock me. Because of I'm going to go back to the character thing. Because there are numerous characters, none of them get proper development. No arcs. Except for 2 or 3 characters. None of them really get any screen time. The movie is just a crowded mess. There's too many characters. There's too many ideas on screen. And none of them get fleshed out. Like, we really don't get to learn the backstory origin as to, like, how Green Lantern, Nathan Fillion, got his ring. We don't know the origin story to Mr. Terrific or Hawk Girl. Apparently there's this ability that Lex Luthor has the ability to just have this technology randomly at his disposal to create a pocket universe dimension as a prison. None of that technology gets explained. Like, why does Lex have this, but, like, no other country on the world does? Like, are you kidding me? we have technology to create pocket dimensions. How? How is that possible? Why is Lex Luthor the only person on the planet that has that type of technology? It's just really confusing. In terms of the music / the soundtrack, it doesn't fit with what's happening on screen. There's this moment where Mr. Terrific gets to show off his awesomeness, and they play this, like, weird song, And I just didn't like it. The song choices in this movie throughout are just horrible. Even the credit songs are just like, this doesn't feel like it fits with the whole Superman vibe, hope, justice, and the American way. The song choices don't reflect that. In terms of Superman, he does feel human. He does feel relatable. He always wants to do good and save lives. And I think that's something that we can relate to as just normal people on a regular basis. Like I said, the movie does bring back the hope and the brightness of the character, unlike the Zack Snyderverse. So, to me, I kind of liked the Zack Snyderverse, slightly darker tone. This version of Superman, I still enjoy for what it was doing. Overall, I was kind of just disappointed, and I was just hoping for more. Okay? Last page. When I want to talk about the end of the movie real quick. There are 2 post-credit scenes. There's one that's midway, and then there's one that's halfway. Thankfully, the credits kind of speed roll, so you're not sitting there for 10 to 15 minutes. The credits do roll real fast, so it only should take you about 3 to 5 minutes to get to the final one. Unfortunately, these 2 post-credit scenes aren't special. They don't tease anything for future projects. They don't tease the next HBO Max show. They don't tease the next film. None of that. It's just gags. It's like these 2 post-credit scenes feel like there's something from a gag reel, and it just doesn't feel great. Moving back to the actual movie itself, I do feel as if though this film has a good foundation. I do feel as if though this movie did a good job laying the foundation for the franchise moving forward. But as a Superman movie, which is what this was supposed to be, this is not a Superman movie. It's a mess. And I just don't think this movie is as good as it could have been. The pacing, it's like I said, it's never ending. It's just a rush of stuff constantly happening. There's no moment to breathe. The action sequences, sometimes they can be hard to follow because the camera can be shaken. It can be shaky, and sometimes the positioning of the camera is just odd. It just feels like the camera work is really jarring at times. It's not constant, but there are some moments I feel as if though could have been improved upon. Last couple things. There is a lot of lore changes, and this is probably the biggest thing that pissed me off, is that there are a lot of lore and character changes that are going to be divisive to some people. And if you know a lot about DC, this is probably going to piss you off. But as somebody who doesn't know a lot about DC, there's probably 2 big things in this movie that are going to confuse you. And the first one is the fact that Superman was sent to Earth not just to save him because Krypton was gone, but also to enslave humankind, become its godlike ruler, and have as many wives as humanly possible to spawn a whole new generation of Kryptonians. So basically this movie makes it out where Superman's parents are slightly evil, and Superman's supposed to be just taking over the planet and be its one ruler. Not cool. Next thing also is Clark Kent's adoptive dad. He's still alive, even though in every other iteration of Superman, Clark Kent's adoptive dad has always died in some tragic way. It's kind of, DC's answer to a lot of the drama that drives Marvel characters into doing what they're going to do, like Spider-Man. Obviously, another way that this is supposed to be replicated is, the death of Bruce Wayne's parents in Batman. They just completely ignored this very important point that, Superman loses his, adoptive dad on Earth. And that's just not here. And I guess they tried to make it where, because he's not dead, they can make it where his character and Superman, they kind of have a father-son like moment in the movie towards the end of the second act, and it could have been cut out. It could have been done with somebody else, I guess. It just didn't feel impactful all that much. Last couple things. There are 2 cameo characters that are in this film that are not shown in the trailer. So, again, spoiler. Peacemaker, he's in the movie. He doesn't do anything. He's just being interviewed. So he's in the movie for like less than 30 seconds. Also, I guess this universe's version of Supergirl makes an appearance at the end of the movie to get her dog Crypto. And that's it. She doesn't do anything. But it is kind of cool to see that, they are going to bring Supergirl into this franchise. So that's kind of nice. We also get a tease of the eventual HQ of the Justice League. So, like I said, they're laying the foundation for the Justice League to eventually show up on screen. So, overall, I liked parts of this film. I just wanted more Superman, Lois, and Lex, and a lot less on all of these side characters and pointless subplots. So, with that, I'm going to give the film a 6 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day, and look forward to more videos coming soon. Bye, guys.